Greetings, dear ones. It is Friday, April 23rd. Yesterday was Earth Day. Many different types of acknowledgement and celebration of our beautiful planet. But a lot was just a lot of talk as well. It's not easy to actually be in relationship with the earth to the extent that we feel her and recognize and are able to make choices throughout every day and with her in mind. There's many different things that have been contributing to this week's talk and energetics. And I think the most profound is we have so much data on what the ways in which man is throwing off the balance, breaking the circle of life in so many different places in so many different ways, while emissions and pollution in so many different ways is, or that we pollute in so many different ways, is definitely affecting the earth. One of the things that is most devastating is the effect to biodiversity. And the earth is a system in which every single thing has a role. Every single species, every single tree and plant has a synergistic and symbiotic relationship with the ecosystem within which it finds itself. And when we do not acknowledge and recognize that amazing back and forth and synergy and interdependence, then we use without thought, we take without gratitude, we overuse or dig into the land as if it were simply a thing. That beautiful song from the animated movie Pocahontas of Colors of the Wind. If you've ever heard it, you know there's a beautiful line in there that says every rock, every tree has a name, has, a beingness. And it's that the title of today's talk is Earth Walk, because when we walk on the earth, we do so generally very unconsciously and very non-feelingly. And this is directly related to our relationship with ourselves, our body, and those around us. The key point in any healing, whether it is of us individually, whether it is of our relationship with the earth, the animals, everything that is on this planet, has to source from a feeling, a true feeling sense. And we learn very, very young, even before birth, how to attempt to protect ourselves from that which is very painful or scary or infuriating, or sorrow-filled. And that process of learning to protect ourselves also in many ways imprisons ourselves, because it keeps us from actually feeling. We think we feel. Actually, when working with clients so often, that is what I point out, that there's a difference between think feeling and feeling. When I ask clients to feel a certain area or bring their attention to um, part of their body, generally people will go up to their mind to think about what that part of their body is feeling. We have trained ourselves to not actually sensate what's going on in our bodies, certainly internally, and even to a great extent on the surface. We take our energy fields unconsciously and we pull them up so that they are not infilling our bodies, so that we do not feel the emotions that we don't want to feel, those powerful but intense emotions, oftentimes negative, or can feel negative, painful, destructive, etc. And this disconnect from ourselves, our body, our feeling, our sensation, our emotions has also allowed us over centuries to disconnect from the earth, to not feel the earth. I was unbelievably blessed today. I had some um, young men coming, or I had a young man who was going to do a project in my yard. As a matter of fact, they're there now. And he was very upset because he hasn't been able to get a hold of the person that he normally works with. And he pulled up with two other young men. And as we were talking, it turned out that one of them is of indigenous descent. And when we're clearing a certain area, I have a stone, I have two stones from the town in Pennsylvania that's been on fire for, I think it's 50 something, 60 years. It was a mining town, and in the mines, the coal caught fire, and it's never been able to be put out. So the town had to be abandoned, and you can literally feel, and in some places even see, the fire coming up through the ground. And I did a teaching there, a workshop there, and someone there gifted me two stones. And it was, I accepted the stones and brought them back as a means of continuing to work with that town and work with the land and the people there in the workshop. And so as they were clearing, they're completely redoing an area in the front of my yard where this stone is. And they said, well, this will have to, come up too so we can clean completely. And I said, no, we need to ask the stone first. And this young man knelt down and he felt into the stone and ultimately said, no, it doesn't want to be moved. And he accompanied me. I was showing him some things in the backyard, and he accompanied me in my walk in the labyrinth this morning. And I was so moved because as he stepped, as I've seen so many different Native American descendants or people directly still aware and working their tradition, he barely touched the ground. It was as if he was skimming on the top, that his weight was not coming down on the ground. And I'm not even sure if he was conscious of what he was doing. It was so innate, it was so part of his being. And he's very deeply connected to the Pine Barrens here. He related to me that when he leaves New Jersey, he has nightmares. So there is a way in which the land is calling him. I received a great deal of information that I haven't shared with him, so I won't share it here, but it is a connection deeper than the land. And this is the type of relationship and feeling for the land, for the earth, for the plants and critters and bugs and worms and birds and clouds that indigenous peoples have always known and always practiced and continue to hold that knowledge and that space even to this day as they are being decimated in so many different ways, continue to be decimated in so many different ways. And so there was another ancient future wisdom sometime this year when I was speaking about um, the old way, bringing it into the future. And that's that ancient knowledge. It is the relationship with the earth and everything on the earth. And when we allow ourselves to observe the earth and different ecosystems, we can see that interchange and the back and forth, whether it's a predator and prey, keeping things in balance. If you have the opportunity, BBC America has been, as it always does on Saturdays, but these past few days running into Saturday, they are showing the David Attenborough Earth series. Last night was focusing on the series that he did called Blue Planet and Blue Planet 2, and this was all about the oceans. And those of you who were able to catch the post yesterday of the article from the Washington Post about how our best ally in this ability to change the damage or reverse the damage that's being done is the earth itself. And that means just being aware of and conscious, and the knowledge is there. If you have a chance to see the Blue Planet, I had only seen one episode prior to last night. I recorded them all. I was literally floored by the photography and the microphone. You could hear the sound of a seahorse snapping up almost microscopic shrimp as its favorite food. Um, how they were able to pick up the sounds, I don't know. And I know normally the Foley artists, which are fantastic on movies, put sound in afterwards, but this was very evidently the sounds that they were picking up with the camera. You could literally hear the fins of the seahorses and the whales. I encourage you with all my heart to please look. If you don't get BBC America, there are tons of YouTube videos that have been posted of the different series that David Attenborough has done. He has a new one, I think, on Netflix or Amazon, I'm not sure. Please give yourself the gift of immersion into the sights and sounds of different ecosystems on our planet. And the article yesterday and the episodes so clearly pointed out how that circle of life works in every and even the smallest little ecosystem, much less the larger like the oceans. And that one thing out of balance can create massive destruction. They were looking at the kelp beds and the different green forests, if you will, and prairies that are existent in the ocean through plants, different types of plants. And they hold more carbon dioxide than forests even. So this is something that needs to be preserved. It needs to be recognized and acknowledged. And off the coast, off the western coast, um, there was almost complete devastation at one point because man was killing all the otters. I'm not quite sure why. I haven't had a chance to do the research. I believe it might have been for top hats. I know that beaver fur was used for a lot of hats. I'm not sure what the otter fur was used for, but the otters keep the not the anemones, but they keep another plant animal. It's like a cross between a plant and an animal in check. And when they are not in check, along with the Garibaldi fish, that literally they're very, very spiky and very, very razor-like blades. And the Garibaldi fish picks them off of the coral and tends to its area. The otters eat these as well. The name escapes me at the moment. And if not, it's like a predator. It takes over the kelp and the area that allows for these ocean plants to grow and thrive and take in the carbon dioxide that we are constantly emitting, both as in our breath and in our cars and factories and etc. So it just exemplifies one way in which there could have been such massive devastation in that particular ecosystem. And luckily, the otters were able to, come back in great numbers, and they eat, that's their favorite food, these spiny little creatures, and they keep it in check so that the plants and the whole ecosystem that thrives off of that coral forest area under the ocean, for that to continue. And we can see millions of different ways in which we have thrown off that balance, from the current science revelations. A lot of that imbalance and breaking down of the wild space between human civilization and wild areas is what has allowed COVID to be so predominant and then begin to pass from animals to humans, whether by eating them or other means. So if as science reveals the different ways that man is affecting, it's not just emissions. And it isn't, a lot of the big names and the banks and so forth are saying, oh, yes, we need to, either capture the emissions or the carbon dioxide. But, it's in the smaller things. What are you doing in your yard? Multiple agriculture universities have done studies that have revealed that your lawn, cutting it too early in the spring, affects the microbes and the worms that the birds need, and that the birds then defecate, and that those minerals and nutrients, micronutrients, all of that is what goes on under the surface. Our soil is one of the most endangered things on the planet. And here we are in our very own yards, cutting and putting chemicals and fertilizers and non-native plants and taking out the native trees. We have so much that we can do in our own little areas. And it's a question of becoming conscious and feeling into the land and the trees and the rocks. Everything has a place. Everything has a voice. Everything has a purpose. Everyone has a purpose. Every one of us has a place, has a role, has a name, has a voice. The planet does not need us. If we keep going beyond these lines and destroying the biodiversity and breaking those circles and throwing out of balance the different ecosystems, the earth will recover just fine without us. It is such a true statement. She does not need us. We need her. But this is a magnificent and breathtakingly beautiful and fascinating system wherein we, in partnership and cooperation and collaboration and communication and connection and communing, everyone and everything flourishes. There is truly plenty of everything on this planet when and as we recognize, acknowledge, and make choices with that consciousness, with that awareness, with that feelingness. As this beautiful young man tuned into that rock and stated very clearly, this rock does not want to move. I knew that, and I was not going to allow them to move that stone because I had already spoken to the stone and heard its answer. But the fact that he did was a great testament to his natural native abilities and confirmed to him even more so what he suspects and knows about his internal knowledge and inner wisdom and ancient knowledge that he holds within him. And we each do so. We each are old souls, or we wouldn't be on this planet. This is an extremely, extremely special time. What is going on here, this evolutionary process you've heard me speak of many times before, is very unique because there are so many participants. So much of our galaxy and our supercluster of galaxies, we're talking about trillions and trillions and trillions of different planets. Many of them having life, absolutely. Life maybe not as we live it, but life as, you know, that sea anemone, life as a particular plant, all here participating in this grand scheme, this grand experiment. And you are here on purpose. What is within you, who you are authentically and truly, is matters. It matters, it is significant, and your role can and does make a difference. And the more you are in partnership and relationship and communication and connection and collaboration and cooperation with your body and your energy field, which holds your psycho-emotional and physio-energetic system, the more you automatically are able to tune in and feel and hear and communicate with and collaborate with and connect to so many different beings on this planet and those that are in other realities. It is natural to each and every one of us. And it is the process of transformation and transmutation which automatically brings those abilities, gifts, and knowledge back online. And so today, I invite you to truly allow yourself to feel into you. Again, those of you who have heard any of my other Ancient Future Wisdom episodes know that I teach a method of energetic practice that takes you down and inside of you rather than up and out or through your third eye or hanging in what is the wider mind, higher mind, if you will. But we are not just mind. And down and inside of you is your universe and the universe. And so it is a quite different exploration. It is more an experiential, very, very real, not a vision, not an imagining, but an actual sensation of shape-shifting into another aspect of you or another aspect of your universe. Much like, I've referred many times to the movie Contact, where Jodie Foster has an experience and nothing that they say or do can take that away. She cannot prove it. She has no physical evidence, but she knows what she experienced. And it is forever within her and forever with her. And that's the potential for this type of energetic practice. So I invite you now to really find your sits bones. We're going to go a bit over our hour today because it's really, really important that you feel you and thereby have the opportunity to feel the earth. So once you find those sits bones, which are the bones right in the very center of each buttocks, and you just let your shoulder blades kind of drop down. I'm over exaggerating. You don't need to pick up your upper shoulders, but just to be aware of your shoulder blades in the back and allow them to just kind of slide down and together. We tend to come up like this so often and a little bit bent over, bringing our shoulders up to our earlobes, as I heard someone once describe their chiropractor saying to them that they are wearing their shoulders for earrings. And whether we actually do, we energetically hold ourselves in that way. So when you just kind of let your shoulder blades slide down and they'll come a little bit together, it allows your skeletal structure to take over and do what it's supposed to do, which is hold you up. It also tends to open your chest and give you more space for your diaphragm. Not that you have to do that forcefully, but when you're on your sits bones and those shoulder blades slide down, it's an automatic. So just take a minute or so and feel into those places. And as you do, I always like to invite everyone to say to themselves or out loud, I am asking and I am allowing my energy field. I am asking and I am allowing my body. And as you're saying, I am asking and I am allowing, you are inviting, you are connecting into your body and allowing it to be in relationship with you. Allowing yourself to receive any information which your body is holding. So as you say, I am asking and I am allowing, simply allow for any sensations, any experience whatsoever in your body. Perhaps there's a tight area, perhaps there's an area that feels kind of empty. Perhaps you're feeling vibrations or tingling. Maybe your body communicates with you through a symbol or a sound or a shape or a sensation, as I mentioned, or a movie, a book, a legend, memory. There are countless ways in which our body tries to communicate with us. And if you're not experiencing any information coming through, that's just fine. Simply sensating, simply creating the space, the opportunity for you and your body to meet one another, to feel yourself in a different way is extremely powerful and extremely beneficial. I am asking and I am allowing my energy field. Our energy fields are incredibly complex, sophisticated. Systems that interface the physical body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, your soul self. We're focusing on the body today because just as the earth, as I was speaking about the earth, so too does your body have exquisite balance between and among the different systems, the tissue, the organs, glands, nutrients, micronutrients, chemicals. And when anything is out of balance, it affects so much else. Your energy field and the earth have similar structures. This isn't woo-woo science. We have an electrical system. The earth has an electrical grid. We have a magnetic grid system within our bodies. The earth has magnetic grids. We are electromagnetic in many of the levels of our body. So too is there an electromagnetic grid and system on this planet. It's what protects us from the radiation of the sun. We have a circulatory system that is similar to the rivers and waterways of the planet. The tissue itself is made up of the same things as the soil and plants of the earth. So as you are tuned in and allowing that deeper relationship with your body, it isn't a machine. It isn't a thing. There isn't a battle going on. If there is dis-ease, if there is discomfort, if there is pain, if there is something that's reflecting that distress, it is based in a deeper psycho-emotional and spiritual imbalance. Just as we are out of relationship, emotional and spiritual relationship with the earth. Again, something that indigenous peoples live by, know, and share when we listen. So really allow yourself to sink down and in you as much or as little as you can. Let go of your mind, your third eye, and your frontal lobe. They can take a back seat for this practice. Now I invite you again to say to yourself or out loud, I am asking and I am allowing my body. I am asking and I am allowing my energy field. I am asking and I am allowing my wider self, which is your soul self. I am asking and I am allowing my guides, my teachers, my masters, my helpers. Oh, to join me here and now, to drop down and within me, to my inner verse. No work, no effort, no push, no focus needed. When you allow, truly allow, your energy field and your body know how to do this. It is natural. It is automatic when we get out of the way. Just as with the earth, when we get out of the way or cease doing that which throws out of balance, these very delicate circles of life again, all the sacred geometric configuration of the energetics that are combining and blending in a beautifully alchemical way. For you at this time, or whenever you happen to hear this recording. It will be the perfect time and the perfect energetics just for you. Once I call in and call upon Lady Gaia to allow us and help us to sink deeply down in and through the earth of us, into the earth herself. Again, continue to just allow, allow, allow. No push, no intention. Trust your body, trust your energy field, trust the sacred earth. upon the elements, the four great elements who make up everything on this planet and within us. The air, the land, the water, and the fire. Bringing equanimity and equipoise between and among the earth, the air, and the fire and the water of you. Between and among your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body, and your spiritual body, for each correspond to one of the elements. The air, your mental body. The water is your emotional body. The land, your physical body. And the fire, your spiritual body. Allow yourself to simply sense it, simply notice what you may be experiencing, not thinking, but experiencing. And if you do not feel anything, that's quite all right. You have your way. And I now call upon and call in the directions. The direction of the east with Brother Eagle for illumination. In the west with Brother Bear for introspection. Going within. And in the south with Sister Porcupine. And Sister Otter for playfulness, wide-eyed wonder and innocence of the child. And in the north with great honor to Lady White Buffalo, allowing us patience and wisdom and prayerfulness. In the direction of the above, our cosmic family, these nights revealing beautiful Lyriad meteor shower. If you have the opportunity to look up and be gifted with falling stars. And in the direction of the below, with all the inner kingdoms, and of course the direction within. Continuing for a few more moments to allow yourself to drop deeper and deeper still within you. As each and every system is nourished and nurtured by this connection and communication and communion, collaborating and cooperating. Feel as much as you can. Drink deeply. The nurturing and nourishment that comes from and through the earth and her many aspects, to and through your energy field, your body. And in that back and forth relationship, all benefit. Giving, receiving. And just as you were able to trust and allow and let go into your body and energy field, bringing you down and in. So too now, allow your energy field, your wider self, to very, very gently, organically, in your very specific and unique way and pace and time, allow the process, your process, of moving from a less physical back to a more physical experience. And only when and as you internally receive indication that it is time to open your eyes, only then do so. And when and as it is right, please have some water and make sure that you increase very much your water intake after this type of practice. And being told that not only can you, but please do listen to this practice over and over and over. It starts about halfway in and is only about 30 minutes, so please give yourself the gift of hearing this, dropping in to yourself over and over to receive and benefit. And as always, it will be on YouTube. It will be available on Healer's Universe page, as well as I invite you all to join me in the Universal Healing Sanctuary for more teachings. Going to be doing daily messages, short little 3-minute daily messages, and other teachings and workshops. So please become a member of the Universal Healing Sanctuary, and as always, I'm very grateful for any comments on YouTube, and I will be having Q&A sessions where there will be readings as well of your system, should you be called upon. So until next time, as always, it is with deep honor, gratitude, and love for your presence here on the planet at this time. Be well.